All right, you guys. So, Ticket TV, like, share, and subscribe as y'all tap on in, man. I appreciate everybody that's been supporting us, man. Subscribing to the podcast show. Um, man, salute to Z for subscribing to the podcast show. Pamela, salute to you for Pamela, I should say. Salute to you for subscribing to the podcast show. Crystal, Ben B, Gloria, uh, Tara, T Green, Suri Weathers, Angela Collins. Salute to all of y'all for subscribing to the podcast show from between last show to this show. And everybody else that subscribes, I'm going to shout y'all out in between shows. Let's get right into this. And if y'all want to subscribe, the link is pinned at the top. We on the way to 7,000 subscribers. Look, Harvey, and I'm going to tell y'all this right now, man. Harvey and TMZ going through it. Harvey and TMZ going through it, bro. Now, we came in here the other day, and we told y'all about what was going on with good old Harvey from TMZ. We told you guys this the other day. You know what I'm saying? That Harvey basically had popped up in those Epstein files. Now, I don't think Harvey has addressed that yet, but now today, we have serious situation going on. Harvey from TMZ, well, first of all, let me break down what's going on. There's a woman by the name this woman is a co-anchor on NBC's Today Show. Now, her mother was reported missing, right? Y'all can't hear me? Hold on, man. Y'all can't hear? Hold on. Hold on. Hold on, y'all. Now, I had to check my mic. My bad. Hear me now? Press one if y'all can hear me now. Just let me know if y'all can hear me. I'm finna let y'all know exactly what's going on, bro. I just need to make sure y'all can hear me in the comments so we got it good, right? Yeah, y'all can hear me now? All right, salute everybody. Salute. All right, so look, let me let y'all know what's going on. So I came in here the other day, I told y'all about Harvey being in the Epstein files. That was crazy to me because Harvey, from what I've seen, he haven't addressed that. He haven't said anything about that, but they report on a lot of other stuff with the Epstein files, but they haven't spoken about Harvey being mentioned in the Epstein files. Harvey Levin from TMZ. That kind of that kind of took me back that y'all would talk about other things in the Epstein files, but you're not talking about Harvey in the Epstein files. That kind of bothered me in a way, right? Okay, so now let's move forward, right? So Harvey, today, we find out. Now, let me let y'all know this lady right here. Her name is Savannah Guthrie. Now, she's the co-anchor of the Today Show on NBC, right? She has a situation going on right now. This past Sunday, her mother was reported missing after failing to show up at church at her home in Catalina Foothills area of Tucson, Texas, or Arizona, excuse me, right? Now, the authorities, including the Pima County Sheriff's Department, led by the Sheriff Chris Nanos, believes that her mother was abducted, kidnapped from her bed while she slept early on Sunday morning. Now, based on that evidence found at the scene, they came to this conclusion. Now, she was last seen at 9:30 p.m. Saturday night, January the 31st, 2026, at her single-story brick home, which features a gravel driveway and a drive yard with a prickly pear and cactus outside, something like that, right? Now, she lived alone. Her mother lived alone, 84-year-old woman, right? Now, the investigators discovered signs of forced entry at this home, along with specific indications of a nighttime kidnapping, right? DNA tests have been conducted on the items at the scene, but the results are pending and could take several days. The sheriff's office has described the case as very unusual, emphasizing that Nancy did not leave willingly. Now, health concerns. Basically, the mother requires daily medication, and authorities have stressed that it's critical to locate her quickly because her mother could die without that medication. Now, a $25,000 reward was offered on information leading to her safe return. The search had been expanded with law enforcement following every lead, but as of today, nobody knew where she was. Now, the motive was unclear. Former FBI agent Phil Andrew Garrett noted possibilities, including something personal to Nancy targeting her high-profile daughter, right? Savannah, the girl on your screen, the co-host for the NBC Today show, or other factors, but ruled out random acts of given the circumstances. Now, let's get into this. In comes him, Harvey Levin. Harvey Levin just received a phone call at TMZ. And in that call, or in that note, I should say, they received, it was demanded a substantial amount of money for the return of this woman's mother. Now, TMZ says, Harvey says they have contacted the law enforcement. The question is, why did they contact TMZ? Why did they contact TMZ? Right? This is the question. Why did they contact Harvey and to make that demand with Harvey? Right? This is a real question that needs to be asked. So I asked a different question. And I said, and it's not fake. They actually called the authorities. This is real. I said to myself, what the hell is going on? Why in the hell would they call Harvey Levin? Or why would they send Harvey Levin a ransom note? Why would they demand money from Harvey Levin? And I'm trying to figure out what a potential connection between Harvey Levin and this situation would have. The only thing I could think of is that Harvey's name came up in the Epstein files yesterday. That's the only thing I could think of. But it would have nothing to do with this. Or would it? So now I'm going to go through more of the Epstein files to see if there's any link between these people and those files. That's what I'm going to see. That's what I'm going to see, right? That's what I'm going to see. I want to see if there's a link between any of those people and those files. So I'm trying to figure out, you guys, what the hell is going on? What in the blue hell is going on? And why is Harvey the one that they sent the money to, that sent the letter to, and demanded the money? Now, again, this woman works on the Today Show for NBC. Her mother is kidnapped out of her home, right? Now, the only thing I can think of, right, because they don't have any personal links or anything like that between Harvey and Savannah Guthrie, the only thing I can think of, right, is that TMZ has covered stories involving Savannah, including the recent reports on her mother's abduction, right? But that's it. What in the blue hell is 2026 is crazy as hell, bro. And I'm just trying to think what in the world is going on. And why would they write Harvey? Out of all people, why not write the lady? If she works at the Today Show, why not write her and ask Savannah for that? Because that's her mother. But why would you write Harvey And now Harvey has contacted the police. But why would you write Harvey and demand a substantial amount of money? And remember, they're saying this is a timeline because they said the mother could die because she ain't got her medication. Right? Answer that question. Why Harvey? Why not send a letter to the girl herself? I'm starting to think that it's a lot of stuff that we're not seeing, like just in the general public. I'm starting to think that it's a lot of things that we're not privy to that's going on, man. Ain't nobody just coming out of the blue for nowhere, snatching this lady's mama up. This had to been planned, bro. Let me tell y'all something. This shit had to been planned. You don't go to somebody's house, snatch money up. Let me repeat myself to y'all again. You don't go snatch up money, right? This is what you don't do. You don't go snatch up the old woman out the house. That means you would have had to been planning. They would have had to known that this girl's mother lived there. They would have had to known that her mother would have been alone. They would have had to known that this is what they was going to do. Then they would have had to known that they was going to go ask TMZ for ransom money. A large amount of ransom money. But why Harvey Levin? Why Harvey Levin? The only thing I could think of, y'all, is that the other day, Harvey's name came up in the Epstein files. Now remember, it's the only thing I could think of. Harvey didn't, for my knowledge, speak about that. Now, they've been posting on TMZ all these other stories about people who've come up in the Epstein files. Harvey's name came up in the Epstein file, and he hadn't talked about that from what I've seen. He've avoided that. Now, remember, Harvey's name came up in the Epstein files. Why? His name came up because it was alleged that the PR guy for Ghislaine Maxwell or one of those people basically said, look, I'm good friends with Harvey Levin over from TMZ. I can get him to run a story, right? Which would show, in a way, media manipulation. So that's the only thing I could think of because this girl works in the media. She works for the Today Show. So why would they go get her mother and then go tell Harvey, yo, pay me the bread? Unless it's something that we just not seeing. That's the only thing I could think of. That might not have nothing to do with that. But 2026 is crazy as hell. This is an 84-year-old woman that probably, they said is going to pass away if she don't get her medication. She got to have her medication every day. And every day that passes without her medication. Now, here's the thing I think Harvey did that was stupid. And I'm going to say this to Harvey right now. Harvey, I'm going to say one thing. I think that you were very wrong by putting this out here in the public. And I'm going to criticize Harvey for that shit. I think Harvey, let me tell y'all something. This is the quickest way to get somebody messed up. And I pray this doesn't happen. Harvey should have never brought this to the public. Because you told everybody you contact the cops. I want you to think about this. What do you think they're going to do now that they know that you contact the cops and you put this out here? Why would you do that, Harvey? Like, to me, you shouldn't even say nothing about this. You should have just kept it quiet. Even if you did go to the cops, you should have never told none of us. Why would and then Harvey and them, they did a video talking about this. As far as them getting a ransom note. Why would you do that? Now, y'all already know what's going to happen. If something happens to that lady, Harvey's going to get a lot of criticism for coming public with this. To me, Harvey should have not said a damn word. He should have just shut up. Because they got the girl's mother, man. So if you say that, and it won't be Harvey's fault that these people are scumbags, but still, bro, you, dog, Harvey couldn't say nothing about himself when his name came up in them Epstein files. But he been talking about a whole lot of other people. But notice he excluded some people. He excluded a couple famous people that he didn't want to run stories on over there. He been talking about a lot of other people, but 2 rappers that was caught up in that, he didn't want to do nothing about that. And then when his name came up, he damn sure didn't want to say nothing about that. I didn't see Harvey say anything about that. For Harvey to come out, and for what I heard, Harvey was supposed to be a lawyer, for him to come out and say this, and say that you contacted the cops, when these people have contacted you, that's a bad move, man. My opinion, man, that's a horrible move, bro. You never let the people know what you did. If you called the cops, why go out and tell them you called the cops? Now they know that the cops is gonna be after them heavy now. Bad move, man. And what did Harvey think? He just think that they're gonna let the cops just hand these guys the money? No, bro. You weren't supposed to say anything, though. Period. Not to the public. Y'all gotta let me know what's going on, man. What y'all think, man? I just since this Epstein shit don't came out, bro, it's a lot of weirdo stuff that's been going on, man. A lot of weirdo shit been going on since the Epstein stuff came out, man. You got the Clinton saying that they're gonna testify now at the 11th hour. You know what I'm saying? I told y'all the other day Harvey came up in the Epstein files. Matter of fact, right? Is that it right there? No, I think it's a different one that I seen Harvey in. It's a different one I had Harvey in. Yeah, something going on with that though, man. You know, hopefully this woman, hopefully nothing happened to this woman, man. I'm praying for the lady. She's 84 years old, man. But bro, you don't never go to the cops, or you never tell people that you went to the cops, bro. That shit's Harvey. Everything ain't for the news, brother. Y'all let me know what y'all think, man. Shit getting wicked out here, man. Why would this dude tell everybody we contacted the police? Why would you? They got this girl's mother, and you would tell everybody that. You don't say that shit, bro. You don't say it out in public, bro. You're gonna tell somebody who has this girl's mother as ransom. Oh, I contacted the cops. Are you serious? Y'all make sure y'all subscribe to the podcast show, man. Like, share, subscribe. The link to the podcast show gonna be pinned at the top of the chat, man. Why in the blue hell? I'm really starting to think about this shit right now. Why would this weasel contact? I ain't saying contact the cops. Why would he tell the whole world? They put this on their account. Yeah, we have since contacted law enforcement. What? Salute, man. Like, share, subscribe.